Hey everybody. Sorry I'm late. I haven't eaten all day and I made dinner and I had to finish up. Hey Eve. Hey Squirrely Girl. Annabelle. Oh, Reap. Hello. Does anybody want to come up on panel before we start this? I've been working. The stories are so disjointed and conflicting that what I'm going to do is just read through the various articles on this, starting from when he went missing, and then correct things and add information that I found otherwise. So let me drop the link. If anybody wants to come up. Okay, so let me get settled here. Hey, Bob. What's up? You came so you could go on panel, didn't you? I knew you couldn't stay away. Excuse me. I'm having probably breathing. Hey, Misha. Yeah, well, it was supposed to be the other day. Hey, Eve.
Hi, honey. How you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I'm pretty good except for my stomach. I'm still having stomach problems.
Oh no. I know
Yeah.
I'm having problems breathing today and my inhalers don't seem to be working. Hey, what was I gonna say? Oh, Misha. Yeah, it was postponed from Friday, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I slept for a couple days there. Hey, Bob. Oh, that's terrible. Is everybody sick? I hope it's nothing serious, Bob. I haven't noticed that, but then I don't go outside unless I have to. Only for my therapy appointments. Okay, so let me see where we're going to start here. So let's see. Okay. Here's the disappearance. Okay, 12-year-old. Can you hear me? I hope. 12-year-old Jalen Griffin was last seen in Buffalo, New York on August 4th, 2020. He disappeared after going to the store around 11 a.m. Okay, his mom said that they lived by several stores, and Jaylen would go to these stores and offer to carry people's groceries to their house for a little money. So I wonder if that figured into his disappearance. It's a possibility. Oh, Bob. Yeah, that sounds like pollen. Get some over-the-counter allergy drugs. Okay. So he was born in 2008. Okay, here it goes. He was in 6th grade and often spent time at the stores near his home, offering to carry people's bags for money. His mother said they lived near several stores. On August 4th, 2020, Jalen Griffin was last seen at his home on Warren Avenue in Buffalo, New York. After getting home from walking his new puppy, Jaylen went into his mother's room around 11 a.m. and told her he was heading out to the store. Jaylen hasn't been seen or heard from since. His family immediately reported him missing to the Buffalo Police Department when he failed to return home. Jaylen's social media was deactivated after he went missing. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. He was 12, Misha, and he would be 16 now because he's been missing for 4 years, or was. I think I'd leave the social media up for a little while because you never know what his friends what information they might have. Okay, the Buffalo Police Department's Special Victims Unit continues this investigation as an active missing persons investigation and are following up on any leads that come our way. And that was from Joseph Gramaglia, the Deputy Police Commissioner. Okay, this is sad. On February 15th, 2020, Jalen's 18-year-old brother, Jalen Griffin, was shot and killed on Memorial Drive. Now, is that... I think that might be wrong. One of his brothers got shot on his 21st birthday, but he did not die. Jawan did, but I think it was later. His mother believes Jaylen is either under someone's influence or that someone did something to her son. She does not believe he would run away on his own. I don't either, but, especially back in the day, although this wasn't that long ago, police did treat, children disappearing as a runaway, which is sad because they should have taken into account the circumstances. Authorities believe he is alive and still in the area. See, they didn't take it seriously. But his family fears he is in danger. Jalen's mother, 48-year-old Joanne Ponzo, passed away in September 2023 without ever knowing what happened to her son. And that's really sad. On April 12th, 2024, that's almost exactly 4 years, Jalen's body was found inside a home in the 100 block of Sheffield Avenue in South Buffalo. His death has been ruled a homicide. Due to decomposition, the identification was made through dental records. No further details have been released. An autopsy will be performed to gather more information on the cause and manner of death, as well as to gather evidence that may aid in the investigation. But they said that would take several months. And then it just tells his physical description. If you have any information regarding the disappearance, contact the Buffalo Police Department or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Okay, that covers that one. Got anything to say, Eve?
Well, there's not much on that. I seen it one time on YouTube, and they haven't mentioned it anymore.
No.
I was telling Scurly Girl about that when I seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's especially sad that his mother died.
Yeah, it is.
Before finding him, I'm sure that haunted her. Community group vows to continue search for Jalen Griffin after sudden death of his mother. The good thing is they continued to hold vigils for him this whole entire time, 4 years. And several searches were conducted in the neighborhood, but I suppose they didn't think to check into this attic in this apartment building. I don't know. Uh-oh, squirrely girl. I just quickly threw a microwave pizza and I hadn't eaten all day, so I figured I better eat before this. A Buffalo family that spent years searching for answers in the disappearance of 12-year-old Jalen Griffin is facing a new challenge as his mother had passed away. Oh, really? Oh my God. I've been in Mansfield before. I have a girlfriend that lives there. 48-year-old Joanne Ponzo suddenly passed away Monday. Those close to her say she was suffering an illness while dealing with the grief of her missing son, Jalen Griffin. They think that a broken heart contributed, and I have to agree. He went to the store at 11 a.m. Last month, a vigil was held where Joanne was seen crying and praying for his son to be found. And this is in 2023. So they're still holding vigils. Bury the Violence founder, and I think this is a Facebook group, founder Karima Morris, who has been working on Jaylen's case and in close to the family, tells News 7, I'll look that up, Bob, reporter Jocelyn Person, that Joanne's passing will not stop the search for Jaylen. We will continue working and finding Jaylen. He still has family, siblings, grandparents, and a dad, and they still want answers, so we are going to continue. Morris remembers Joanne being a strong woman through not only Jaylen's disappearance and the years they've searched for him, but also the death of her other son, Jalen Griffin. Joanne was known by many of the Bury the Violence family as .com. I think that's kind of funny. Cute.com. Who was a hilarious, strong mother. Morris said who did anything and everything she could to resolve who killed her son, Joanne, and who took her son, Jaylen. Can you imagine losing two children? That's got to be horrible.
Oh, yeah, I bet it is. I mean, Lord.
Now the founder has a big mission to complete in finding Jaylen and putting this case to rest. Not even having to disappear or killed, but to have one missing, that's just an extra burden, I think. I don't think you'd ever get over that. If someone is dead, you can get over that because you know what happened to them. But to have someone be missing, you'd be wondering every day, are they suffering?
Oh, yeah.
Are they out there? I just think that would be terrible. And whoever is harboring him is disgusting. It's inhumane to have you feel like you're better than anyone and take someone else's child and keep them. As we get through the sting of this, we will continue to love, laugh, and look for Jaylen. And then it talks about a balloon release they're holding. Yeah, Squirrely Girl, I agree. That would be horrible. Let's see. That was this one. I don't want to read. Okay, Buffalo family. I think so too. Not knowing, people are haunted by that. Look at Daniel Robinson. Look at what his dad has gone through. He spent money, traveled. He's been digging for years into that. I've never seen anyone search for their missing child that long and that hard. I mean, you can tell that and especially just disappeared. Don't know. Okay. A family in Buffalo is trying to get word out about their son who's been missing since August. But as they search, they are also grieving their other son whose life was cut short in a shooting right before Thanksgiving. I wouldn't wish this on nobody's family, said Shirley Banks, the grandmother of Juwan and Jaylen. It's very hard and difficult for us, Brian Griffin, the father of the boys, said. On February 15th, 2020, my son got shot on his 21st birthday. And that was right by their house, too. I think in the yard. August 4th of 2020 is the last time I saw or heard from my 12-year-old son. November 23rd of 2020, my 18-year-old son was murdered. You can find pictures and a memorial set up near the spot on Memorial Drive in Buffalo, where Jaylen Griffin, 18, lost his life. He was coming back from the store, too, when he was shot and killed just days before Thanksgiving. Griffin described his son, this is his dad, as a very happy, beloved kid who worked 2 jobs every day. He brought a lot of smiles to anybody who came in contact with him. No arrests have been made in connection with this shooting. As Juwan's parents seek justice for him, they're looking for their other son, Jaylen, who's been missing since summer. Police
That's
tell
so
Spectrum News,
I said, that's so sad.
it's horrible. But it
No.
sounds like the community and the family have come together and have been searching for 4 years. I think that's amazing. It seems like
Yeah,
as
that
time
is.
goes by, people drop out or go on to other things. I think that's really affected the community. The 12-year-old boy was last seen at his house in Buffalo. His loved ones describe him as a mama's boy who would regularly check in with them. So his being gone this long isn't like him. The family believes authorities haven't been as helpful as they'd like them to be in searching for Jaylen. Yeah, I'm sure they haven't. They're saying they're not doing anything about it too much right now, considering the way they got him rated. They still got him rated as a runaway, yet he's still missing. He's not a runaway. He don't got no reason to run away. He's a child. He's a baby. The family said they've gotten reports of people seeing Jaylen in the area. You know, that's the downside of getting tips from. I don't think I've ever heard of a missing persons case where they didn't get possible sightings, sometimes even out of the country or across the country. And those always have to be checked out, but they're never, I think they cause false hope for the family and take law enforcement's time. And think of it nowadays, like in the case of Sebastian or Summer, the amount of tips they get from social media that are just nonsense. I can't imagine. It's even worse nowadays. They've also received threatening calls from people asking for money in exchange for the 12-year-old, but the callers didn't prove they actually had them. What's helped them through it all is the support from the community, including local pastor Tim Newkirk. We're going into the community and we're talking to the leaders and the community and store owners and showing pictures of Jaylen. I'm thinking that wherever he's at, if he can just see that his family cares for him and they're crying out that he comes home or whoever has him releases him. Okay, that's all on that one. Yeah, it is terrible, but that's unfortunately what happens. Okay, here's there's a lot of rumors. One was that he was walking his puppy. He had walked his puppy before and brought him home. So I see people asking if his puppy was ever found, but the puppy wasn't with him. I think that kind of happens too. Let's see where we're at. Father, mother. Okay. Here's about his mother. Joanne Ponzo was laid to rest Thursday, having never known what happened to her son, Jalen Griffin, who was 12 when he was last seen on August 4th, 2020. Ponzo died September 18th at Sisters Hospital after her health rapidly deteriorated. She was 48. She struggled, said Karima Morris, founder Bury the Violence. I got to look into that more, and if that's just a local group who had supported her and helped in spreading awareness about Jaylen's disappearance. It's always nice when you have an advocate Oh, Bob, I don't want to even think about that. That's really sad. Yeah, pets really grieve for us. Um, it's nice when you have an advocate that's helping you spread awareness. Um, they had billboards, flyers, and the vigils. Get the word out locally, and here he's found locally. Jaylen was, I already read that. He was believed headed to a convenience store, Sears food store. He never returned. And then 3 months later, his brother was killed. He was shot and killed steps away from his home. It frustrated her. She felt helpless. He was shot in broad daylight in a heavily populated neighborhood. Ponzo was angry with the police for not doing more to solve either of the cases. I don't blame her. You'd feel really helpless. Over the last 3 years, Morris and other community leaders led search parties and awareness campaigns to turn up clues to Jaylen's whereabouts. They held vigils on Jaylen's birthday and on the day of his disappearance and put up a billboard with his photo. I saw a picture of that. In the summer of 2022, Buffalo police conducted a new search and used cadaver dogs, but they found no trace of Jaylen. They did release an age-progressed image. Ponzo didn't like the image. That's not my son. It doesn't look like my son. Well, she's remembering him as he looked when she last saw him, I think. Oh, you're back.
Like,
I didn't even notice. I wondered why you weren't saying anything.
I'm sorry.
Morris tried to encourage Ponzo to speak to the media about her son. She believed it would be the best way to draw publicity to the missing person case, but she always backed out. She wanted to talk, but she wasn't confident in talking. So many people had told her she doesn't sound good compared to the other woman out there. Morris said, I told her you have an audience waiting for you. Well, that's a case where she searched for her son and done all she could for 4 years, but did not speak to the media. So nowadays you'd get criticized to hell and back for that. Like I've seen that in other cases without mentioning names. But here that explains that. She just didn't feel confident. Yet she always attended the vigils, insisting on releasing paper lanterns into the sky at the conclusion of events. Ponzo showed Morris a binder that she found in their house about 2 weeks after Jaylen disappeared. This is creepy. It was a picture that Jaylen had drawn, and he wrote, I'm gone already on it. Ponzo wondered if he somehow knew his fate. He's survived by his parents. She's survived by her parents. And it does list Jaylen in there and tells about the viewing. There's a picture of the lanterns. I don't know what to say. Okay, then we have father, and you see the Daily Mail had some inaccuracies, of course. Okay, more than 160 complaints made about the house where Griffin was found since 2007. Okay, so he went missing in 2020, so they're including a lot. And people moved in and out of this house because it was apartments. So the address where I tried to find out who owned this, and it's owned by a corporation. And oddly enough, I could not track who owned the corporation, which usually I can, but I worked on it for quite a while. The address where 12-year-old Jalen Griffin's body was found has been the subject of numerous complaints over the years. His body wasn't the first to be found there either. 911 logs revealed the troubled past at 107 Sheffield Avenue in South Buffalo. More than 160 complaints have been made to police since 2007. That's quite a few. Those include domestic violence, fire, and mental health calls, and the discovery of bodies. I had the article about the fire. I'll read that in a little while. According to Buffalo police records obtained by News 4, a welfare check in June 2020 turned up a body at the multi-house unit. Then in September 2022, a call resulted in an arrest. We've requested more information on if a body was actually discovered from this call. Nearly a year later, in August 2023, a body was found in the yard. Sounds like a good neighborhood. Most recently, on April 12th, a nearly 4-year search for 12-year-old Jalen Griffin came to an end when he was found in the attic of 107 Sheffield. I wonder if, they didn't check the attic. I don't think you would check the attic, would you?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're checking, yeah, you would check the whole house. The way I look at it, I mean, and the attic is part of the house.
Yeah, but there's a lot of houses in a 5 square mile radius.
I
But
know,
yeah,
but
you're right. They find kids in closets and secret places under the stairway.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Squirrely Ghost says they should have checked it. On
mean,
Wednesday, a City of Buffalo spokesperson shared that 2 of the bodies found at the property were the result of natural causes, and a third was a drug overdose. So, no violence in those deaths.
you think they're ever going to find out what happened to this little boy?
I don't know. They have, I searched for people that were residents of that house at that time, and I couldn't. Only one person was listed, and they didn't move in until after he went missing. So I don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of records on who rented the houses at that time. And I would think it would have to be one of them, because if it was somebody that wasn't living there, it'd be kind of odd for them to be able to carry a body through the house and up to the attic.
Yeah, I
In
agree
my
on that.
opinion.
But
Neighbors who wouldn't. What?
I'm just wondering what happened to him, and how he died, and
Yeah, are they going to get any answers now? I suppose they'll look for artifacts in the bones. I wonder if there's much left. It said the autopsy could take several months. I don't doubt that.
yeah, because he
Yeah,
he's
it's
been there for
decomposed.
almost 4 years.
Yeah. Hopefully someone wasn't abusing him or torturing him up any of
I
that
hope
time.
not either.
Neighbors who wouldn't go on camera tell News 4 they've seen several different tenants come and go from the property over the years. In fact, one neighbor has an active lawsuit against the owner of the property, a tenant there, and Spectrum Health and Human Services. They were the ones that referred people to this house, alleging negligence which led to property damage. The suit alleges the tenant was placed in the apartment through Spectrum Health and Human Services. A spokesperson for Spectrum tells us they cannot comment on pending litigation. I'm surprised at a spokeswoman tells us that they do not have a housing contract with the landlord. However, they believe parolees have lived in the house at the past. As for the landlord, Sunrise West LLC, little is known about the company, registered to a Hamburg post office box. I searched for a long time and couldn't find the company. That's driving me nuts. Not that it would do any good, because I'm sure the company that owns it didn't have anything to do with it. The fire Maybe it tells in another article, but it said that one of the tenants threw burning pieces of stuff out the window, and it damaged the house next door.
Oh, my.
Sounds like a bunch of winners live there, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm glad I don't live in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I have
That,
some, what?
they interviewed one of the neighbors, and she said she's ready to sell her house and get out there.
Yeah, I don't wonder. Sometimes, I used to deliver to an area in town that had it had high crime. Actually, I
Yeah,
delivered to a house that a person that had robbed a bank was arrested right after that. And, there would be standoffs where people were holding hostages in houses. It didn't really bother me because in that day and age, who's going to kill a UPS driver? But, it was an older community, and I think there was a lot of older people that had just lived there all their lives, and then the neighborhood just kind of went to hell around them, and
yeah.
I think
I know
I
what
think
you mean.
it's hard to. I know people that have tried to get their you know parents or grandparents to move when the area's not safe, but it's hard to uproot someone from their home.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't want to
Especially,
be, uprooted from where I live. I mean,
no, yeah, I've lived here for over 40 years. I mean, it's small, but it's home. So,
well, I've lived here 11 years, and
okay. Oh my God. This is a clickbait here. Boy 12 missing for 4 years is the fourth body to be found in chilling house of horrors. Of course, they don't happen to mention that the other bodies weren't murdered. Griffin's body was found decomposed in the attic. The first body turned up following a welfare check in June 2020. Another reported in September 2022, which led to an arrest. Domestic violence, fire, and mental health welfare checks were also included in the 911 calls. Okay, police said that someone was in the property with a valid reason and came across Jaylen's body and immediately called 911. There are recordings of the dispatch calls online. Just says this was a maintenance man, and he said I thought he said he found a body, but he did say he doesn't know what it is. I don't know. Sometimes I think the dispatcher in an emergency like that gets a little confused with the.
yeah, probably does.
Yeah, I think so. Meanwhile, a neighbor is suing the landlords. Here it is, Sunrise West. After a tenant reportedly threw pieces of a burnt mattress out of a window. Is that smoking? I wonder. And that's one thing I do worry about. Which caused $130,000 of damage to their property. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
You'd think they'd have insurance, but I guess not. Not everybody does. Spectrum reportedly houses some high risk, high need individuals at homes around the city. The Independent has approached the organization for further comment, but is yet to receive a response. I would think they wouldn't. Jaylen's body was found a week before what would have been his 16th birthday. Police said they believed his body had been in the house. Oh, goodbye, Misha. Thanks for stopping in. For a significant amount of time, but could not provide a time frame. Okay, then it just talks about the binder. Okay, police are offering a $7,500 reward for information leading to an arrest. After all this time, you never know.
Now, I mean, that's been
Somebody
a long
might.
time.
It has been, and if somebody was going to talk, but then, look at Rose Blythe's case. There's a lot of cases out there that people don't talk.
Yeah, I know.
But as time passes, loyalties change, people get divorced, people have grudges against another person. So you never know. It's very rare that somebody wouldn't tell someone.
Oh, I know. I mean, look at all the cases we got out here. We don't know who these people
I know.
are. And
We've got one here in town. She's been missing 40 years. They pretty much know what happened to her, and kind of like Rose Bly case. They know what happened to her. They know who did it. One guy has died. They even know approximately where her body was found or was buried, and have dug there. But it's a big field. But nobody will talk. Nobody will talk. So, you can't go anywhere without that, without a body or without somebody talking.
well, some people knows how to be quiet, I guess. I mean,
Well, I don't know. They say
I couldn't live with something like that.
No. They say two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead, and I truly do believe that. Here we have his dad. Let's see. I might have already read this. Community groups have done their own searches across the city and out of state. That's probably come from those called in tip sightings. I'm reminded by his mother, Joanne Ponzo, who on her dying bed said, "Don't stop looking for my son," said Pastor Tim Newkirk. And his organization has led numerous on-the-ground searches for Jaylen. I think he said one recently, not very long ago. The body was identified through dental records. Jaylen's father, Brian, wants justice and has questions as well. They say they found the body Friday. Why wasn't I notified? Probably they wanted to identify him through dental records, I would think.
Yes,
I mean, they wouldn't know when they found the body, they wouldn't immediately know who it was. And you don't want to tell someone that they found the body when they don't know if it's him or not.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to check like you said, they're going to check his dental, and stuff, and see his teeth,
I wonder if he was still clothed.
What?
I wonder if he was still clothed.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't.
I know that would be a thing you'd want to know. He also has questions about the people living at the home where Jaylen was found, saying we all don't know how long he's been deceased. I'm sure there would have been some type of odor. Although pictures on Google Earth from 2020 when he went missing and recent pictures taken and published in the paper all show the two windows in the attic are open, propped open with cans. So that's kind of odd too.
Yeah.
They said Buffalo gets awfully cold and has a lot of snow, so you wouldn't ordinarily have your windows open. I think that's kind of suspicious.
Well, whoever, if he was murdered by somebody, I think that's the reason maybe why the windows would pop open, because they didn't want the smell to be so bad.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, because you think people in the house would smell that.
Yeah.
I don't know the
I think that's the
circumstances.
reason why the windows would pop open.
Yeah. I don't know, but, that's a pretty strong smell. I don't know. Yeah, squirrely girl. Unless they all knew it was a body.
Yeah,
I
but
guess,
how can you, if you all knew it was a body, how can you live there knowing that's a dead body up in the attic?
well, they're all
I
if
mean,
they're all sex offenders and parolees, they don't want the cop coming in. That would bring law enforcement down on them. Yeah, Buffalo. Yep. We get those snows. One winter we had 140 inches of snow. Okay,
I see.
so
I guess you'll be surprised what people can live with.
well, yeah. Um, I think that's probably most likely, but that's just my opinion that they didn't want police to come in and upend their lives. If they did smell it, we don't know that. Um, okay, here's just talking about his mother. That's so
Ask
sad.
Bob what he thinks.
Bob.
Bob, tell us what you think about that.
Bob needs to come up on piano. Um, okay. It's very odd that message, "I'm gone already?" That's just kind of weird. Um, a maintenance worker sounded the alarm when he stumbled upon a body in the attic of the multi-unit home. The worker said he didn't smell decomposing matter. Well, homicide detectives arrived just before 10:30 a.m. and said they would need more time at a scene because of a dead on arrival. You know, is this the first time in 4 years that the maintenance worker's gone in the attic? And why did he go in the attic? I have questions.
Oh yeah, there's always questions when they find a body like this. I mean,
I suppose more information will come out. I hope it does. The body that was located in the house had been there a significant amount of time. So there must have been some fluids or something that leaked into the floor or something. While he was unable to elaborate on how long the body had been there, Gramaglia said it was so deteriorated that the medical examiner's office had to confirm Jalen's identity using dental records. This department has conducted extensive searches, and I want Jalen's family to know that we are working diligently to bring the next closure for the family. And they thank the community for their efforts. Jaylen would have turned 16 years old on April 22nd. A birthday memorial was held in his honor. Okay. After the remains of missing boy are found inside a Buffalo home, the focus shifts to how he died. Okay, this goes over. Oh, okay. Jaylen was last seen August 4th when he left his East Buffalo home. His body was found Friday in a house 5 miles away. Okay, so he didn't go there on his own. He didn't walk there. People would have seen him walking.
okay, another big question: how did he get there? I mean,
Yeah, somebody took him. An autopsy that could yield clues about Jalen's death is expected to take months. This is a tragedy, and it's a terrible way to bring this search to a conclusion. This now begins a homicide investigation. I guess they finally realized he wasn't a runaway. Okay, here's a change.org petition to close down that house. My brother, missing for 3.5 years, was tragically found deceased in the attic of the halfway house at 107 Sheffield. This is not an isolated incident. It's the fourth body associated with this address in Buffalo, New York. The pattern is disturbing and raises serious concerns about safety and management practices within this facility. Halfway houses are meant to provide a safe environment for individuals transitioning back into society. However, when these facilities become associated with repeated incidents of harm or death, it's clear that they're failing to fulfill their intended purpose. The two died of natural causes, though.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we won't know nothing until they get the autopsy and other things back.
yeah, they said two died of natural causes and one died of a drug overdose. The one found on the lawn was the drug overdose. In Buffalo alone, there are over 20 other halfway houses that successfully operate without such incidences. It's unacceptable that residents around 107 Sheffield should face such risks when alternatives exist. We urge local authorities to investigate these deaths thoroughly and take immediate action to close down this dangerous facility, protect our community members. Please sign this petition calling for closure of the halfway house at 107 Sheffield in Buffalo, New York. Okay, the name of the petition is Close Down the Halfway House at 107 Sheffield. In case anyone wants to look at some of those comments. Okay, this one just goes into, here's the dispatch. Oh, I don't know why that. Oh, Lisa. Let me turn up my volume here. Okay.
Well,
No, stop that one.
side rear door. From the info from the tenant, see Chris, the maintenance guy. He believes there's a DOA in the attic. No smell. He can't make out what it is, and no one will look.
How does he know it's a dead body if no one will look and he doesn't know what it is? That's kind of interesting. Property records reveal that the house was last sold in
DOA 107 Sheffield.
Sorry. Property records revealed that the house was last sold in 2011 to Sunrise West LLC. Neighbors who would not go on camera for an interview were stunned to learn of the tragedy, telling News 4 they never saw or smelled anything. They say people they're not familiar with are consistently moving in and out of the house, adding that they've seen police at the house many times in the past. Tim Newkirk, the pastor, said that his search team canvassed the South Buffalo neighborhood where Griffin was found last year. The search for where's Jalen Griffin has come to a close, but now the search is what happened to Jalen Griffin. Who would do something like this to a 12-year-old boy? How did he end up here? Was he moved? The questions are still remaining. How long was he dead? How long was he deceased? Was he found in something that was locked and had to be opened? And did a certain aroma come out that would be a major complaint in this community? This looks like the type of community where if anything is taking place, somebody will report it or say something. Now, that's not what someone that lives there said. After the crime scene, photographers and police officers left the house Tuesday afternoon. A neighborhood woman left flowers and balloons in front of the home in memory of Griffin. That's nice. And then they're going to have another vigil. Talks about that. Okay, and this is now the police commissioner said that the body had been there for a significant amount of time. So I'm assuming that there is some evidence of that.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't have said that unless he knew. Okay, I'm going down here. What's this?
Well,
Okay.
thank God somebody found him. I mean, you know.
I can't figure out why the maintenance man hadn't been in there in 4 years.
I mean, I know. I mean, that's just. I mean, it's a house. I mean, people was living there.
I know. What made him go up there in the first place? If he hadn't
They
been
didn't
up there in
say.
4 years, something must have made him decide to
Yeah.
go up there. I wonder if he used it for storage, but must be nothing you need. Okay, here's another fire. Fire leaves 4 homeless, injured 1 in South Buffalo. 1 person was injured and 4 people were left homeless after a fire in a South Buffalo apartment house Thursday night, the Buffalo Fire Department Alarm Office reported. The fire broke out at 9:10 p.m. on the 2nd floor of a 4-unit apartment building at 107 Sheffield Avenue. Fire dispatchers said it spread quickly to the attic. Okay, but this is earlier. So the attic had been searched. Initial reports said 1 person was rescued from the bedroom of a 2nd-floor apartment and taken by ambulance to a hospital. Damage was estimated at $90,000. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Gonna see if I didn't get the date on that. Sorry.
Well, we don't know how long that boy's body was in that house. It might not have been in
No,
that house for some years.
no. Karina Lopez said my brother was one of the bodies found at that house, and justice needs to be served. We need closure. We have so many unanswered questions. This is from Reddit. These comments. I bought my house 20 years ago on Sheffield. It was a nice, quiet street and neighborhood. The past several years have been nothing but chaos, screaming, and fighting up and down the street. The police are here several times a month. There are many children that live on this street, and no one should feel like they are in danger, especially the children. I have compassion for the residents that live there. They need help, but not at that house, not on this street. It sounds like it's not just the house. It sounds like the whole neighborhood has gone down.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Well, I told you about that neighbor got interviewed. She sell her house right there that day when they was interviewing her. If somebody came up with money for what she wanted out of that neighborhood.
Yeah. Let's see. It says it isn't a halfway house. Yeah, I would think it's not a halfway house, but they just direct people there. But sounds like there's nobody there in charge. It's just apartments. The 4-unit home is owned by a woman. No, it's not. It's owned by a corporation, although I guess by an old woman. It says it's managed by a property company, the kind that charges 3 times what it's worth and is constantly rotating tenants because it takes anyone who passes a credit check and pays the application fees. They're in a list of rentals that work with a local substance abuse and mental health treatment family counseling agency, which has programs for placing individuals in housing of their own. Obviously, a lot of these individuals are troubled. Obviously. And then they're talking about the windows. Yep, you can see in pictures in the news that the windows are open. It says the windows are closed now, and there's a drop cloth covering them from the inside. I'm assuming that the police did that probably, or the maintenance man. But hopefully the cans can be dusted or checked for DNA. Now that's a good thought. Who put those cans there? Was it the person that put his body there?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, you got a lot of crashes on this one.
I know. Says he went missing in August. August can be hot in an attic, and autumn freezes were just around the corner. Maybe there was just a week or two where they had a lot of flies. Oh yeah, there'd be a lot of flies, especially with the open windows.
Yeah,
You'd
that's
think
true.
you'd think other people would notice that. I helped clean an apartment where my uncle had been dead in August for a week or so. It all had dried out fairly quickly. So his gross apartment mostly just smelled like dirt and booze that killed him. The building was also rented out to short-term alcoholics and addicts, and it always smelled like mold and old trash. Nobody even noticed the decomp. I'll bet this house smelled too. I'm just guessing.
He had to. I mean, there was a dead body up in the attic. I mean, have smell. All these houses that got dead bodies or anything in it, they're going to smell.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I think that aside from that, I'll bet you the house smelled, considering the tenants. I'm just guessing. Maybe that's not nice.
yeah, that's true too. I mean,
One of them was an on-property death and not actually inside the structure. Well, I'm thinking that was the overdose, but that could have been natural death too. Somebody could have had a heart attack out in the lawn. I would also venture a guess that if it was a location being used by various programs and possibly the state, that any documented incidents would have been closed as quickly as possible and not looked unfavorable. Meaning if they had an easy out with natural causes or overdose to close the cases fast, they probably took it. Well, that's a thought too. How did they do autopsies on these natural causes bodies?
I don't know. I mean, you can't never tell. I mean,
Okay, here's somebody that says it's Buffalo. Oh, they're talking about it being, several people talked about it being segregated and racist in that area. So I'm not going to read those, but okay, I think that's all I got. This talks about the fire. Oh, here, multiple neighbors 7 News spoke to said there have been issues stemming from that home for years. Probably about a year or two, I was walking my son down the street, and one of the ladies living in the residence at the time chased me down with a bat. Lovely, said a neighbor who did not want to be named. Another neighbor told 7 News that she has received alerts that registered sex offenders have lived at 107 Sheffield. 7 News found records to confirm that one of those individuals was booked in jail just last month on a new sex charge. Yeah, criminals. Here, city building inspectors were at the home multiple times, 6 times in 2022 and 4 times in 2023. The inspectors were inside the home just once to respond to a complaint about a downstairs apartment, and there was no indication they were ever in the attic. Okay, I think that's all. It's really hard.
Well, we don't have you don't have a lot of information on it neither. I mean, you just got
Yeah, not
that makes it
yet.
hard.
I'll try to keep up on it and see. They found the body of that hog, that guy hauling the hogs in his truck that was found in the middle of the road. And that was unusual too.
Yeah,
He's left his truck in the road, door open, truck running, and his wallet and phone were found in the truck, and his body was found a mile away.
yeah, I seen that.
Now, that's a puzzle. Why would he get out and leave his truck running? Of course, that's not unusual, but um, not to walk a mile away. And it said there was no evidence of assault or obvious wounds or anything. Well, I don't know. Was he having some psychotic break? A lot of truckers take speed, but I don't think he was that far from home. I don't know.
Well,
That's just puzzling.
yeah, I mean, you can't never tell. It could be something like that. I mean, yeah, I was wondering how come he was left his truck running from his truck like that, and they found him, that far from his truck.
Well, it said that law enforcement had searched in a 2-mile area around the truck, and then the United Cajun Navy came in and searched from 2 miles out. So he said that the body was found in the area where law enforcement told them they had already searched. So, I mean, you hear about that quite frequently too. Areas that were previously searched and then a body's found or clothing found. I don't know. You wonder how closely they searched. Hi,
Yeah,
Victoria. Welcome. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose if they're not trained searchers, which United Cajun Navy is,
yeah. I mean,
then did they just get neighborhood searches? Yeah, I would think if they weren't searching in a grid pattern. I don't know. That's why I think in Summer's case they didn't want the public or volunteer searchers. They wanted
yes,
just
Bob, I agree with you.
trained searchers, especially because the area around there was so treacherous. Yeah, obviously they didn't search very well. True. That's kind of sad, too. The whole thing is kind of just mysterious. Where do these people go? People say that, oh, no one just disappears, but people disappear all the time.
Yes, they do. I mean, I didn't realize how much people disappear until I got on true crime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They disappear all the time. And look at how many bodies are found, 20, 30,
Yeah,
40 years later. 5 bones. Yeah, Bob. That's a good point. Are buzzards found in every state? I don't know. We have them here. They creep me out.
I
I
have
can't.
never ever seen a buzzer.
Oh my God, you can see right up in their nose. And
Oh my!
when they spread their wings out, I know. I said, "Oh, I saw a pterodactyl today." That's what they look like. They're just gross and creepy. They make my skin crawl.
But
But
like I said,
yeah,
I've never seen one. So
buzzards or eagles or something. I've seen eagles pick at carcasses.
yeah, only time I've seen eagles is on TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Bob, that's gross. You're in Florida. Oh. Yeah, I've seen a whole bunch of them perched on a roof of a barn before. I thought, what are they waiting for? Something must have been sick. Is that the same as a buzzard? Um, I think so, Squirrely Girl. I don't know. Somebody Google that. We have vultures. Turkey vultures. Yeah, they're just gross. I had an eagle. I collect feathers, and it's illegal to have a turkey feather. It's illegal to have hawk feathers too, but I'm not going to comment on that. But it's
Why is it
illegal.
illegal to have a turkey feather?
Hawk. It's illegal to have a hawk feather because they're
Oh,
protected.
okay.
And eagle feathers. So I always wanted an eagle feather, but I saw an eagle and I stopped and filmed him. He was eating something in a field and it was windy, and I saw it blow a little downy under feather off of him in that field. So I thought, I'm going to get that feather. Nobody'd know that was an eagle feather. So I went by there the next day and they had plowed that field.
Oh my!
I could have cried. I'm like, why
I
would they
bet
do
you
it right?
did.
Damn. Okay, that's all we got. That's all I got. If anybody doesn't have anything to say, I know, Squirrely Girl, it was horrible. I was probably going to get an eagle feather. I thought, oh my God, my lucky day when I saw that wind blow that off of them.
So how many feathers do you have?
I have a lot of feathers. I've got blue jay feathers, cardinal feathers, and that other feather that I mentioned. And let's see, I have pheasant and turkey feathers. People just give me feathers too. Oh, I have some kookaburra feathers from Australia.
Oh my!
I'm fascinated by them. I love them. And Australia has so many brilliantly colored birds. And so I asked my friends when they come over to the US to bring them, but they're like, oh no, that's illegal. Well, who's going to look through your luggage and find a feather? But actually, I bought them off Etsy. Guy said they were humanly gathered. I'm assuming that they were shed and then cleaned.
Yeah.
So, yep, I have a few of those. Yeah, I just whatever I can find or what people give me.
I'll tell you who has the bird that has pretty feathers are the peacocks.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of
Those are
peacocks on my
beautiful.
route. Peacocks and white.
Honey?
Somebody had white peacocks.
Yeah, I've seen different color peacocks and stuff. And
They're so loud.
yeah, but they're beautiful. I mean, they're
They are. I had one guy that bred them, and he had a male that was especially nice specimen. And then, the next year he says, I'm going to breed him. And then, I don't know, he got rid of them all. Before that, they are loud. They're calling for mates. I was actually in a garage once to deliver a package. It was a pretty small, just room enough for 2 cars. And then there was a little stairway that went up to the house. So I took the package in there and something flew by me and hit the window. And I thought, oh my God, what is that? And it was a peacock. Now imagine being in a small garage with a peacock flying around. And then I looked and there was another one up on top of the garage door. I'm like, I got to get out of here.
yeah, I heard them peacocks are really loud, but I still think they're beautiful.
They are beautiful. They are very colorful.
I mean,
yeah, it's really loud, Squirrely. Louder than somebody screaming. Oh my God. Yeah, I wouldn't want my neighbor to have some.
I wouldn't either.
They're louder than a rooster for sure. Oh
my Squirrely Girl. Oh Lord.
Oh my. I wouldn't like that. Apparently they got rid of it, right? Or did it have
so.
or did it have an accident?
Oh, I couldn't handle that if they was that loud and they been on top of my house. Oh my.
Oh my God. I got somebody downstairs that has 2 little dogs that bark about 18 hours a day.
Oh no.
Thankfully, they're just little dogs, and I've kind of gotten used to it, but still, 2 a.m., they're still barking.
Well, these apartments I live in, you can't hear the neighbors next door and stuff. I
Oh,
got
that
neighbors
would
on
be,
the side of me,
yeah.
and I can't hear. I can't hear them. The only time I ever hear my neighbors is the banging up on the wall, putting something up on the wall, something like that.
Uh,
But you can't.
oh,
But you can't hear them inside the apartment.
I don't know why I can hear that because there's cement between each of the floors.
Well, we got
Oh,
firewalls between each
squirrely,
apartment.
squirrely girl moved. Well, um, one night I heard some people coming down the sidewalk, which is outside my bedroom, and they were laughing and really loud and everything. It was about 2 o'clock. The bars were just closed. Obviously, they were drunk. And I heard them come up in the stairs and come up the stairs. And then I heard a door shut. So obviously, the apartment, and I didn't hear them anymore. So then a little while later, somebody's banging on my door. Well, I'm not going to go open the door. I'm not expecting anyone. So I just ignored it. And then bang, 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 some more. Really loud. Police. And I'm like, oh my God. So I go to the door. Turns out one of those guys was a state policeman, and they were in there drunk and playing with his gun, and it went off and shot a bullet up through the ceiling.
Oh no. Oh, I tell you what, I'm not answering my door late at night because I'm not going to take any chances.
I think they wouldn't have said anything. My neighbor, he'd lived there forever too, and I knew he would never answer the door. So I think then they didn't have any choice but to call the police because they didn't know if somebody was dead. So he's like, "Are you the only one in the apartment?" I'm like, "Yeah. You sure there's nobody else?" I think I'd know. But then I thought, "Oh my God, my cat." So I Rufus, and he came running down the hall. So we were all okay. But yeah, it's a good thing there's concrete between the floors
Yeah, that's a
to
good thing. I mean,
to absorb
well,
those bullets. I'm like, what? State policeman ought to know better than to be playing with his gun while he's
yeah.
drunk.
But where I live, it's just single apartments. We don't have no. They're just single apartments. That's only 42 apartments here.
How many?
42.
Oh, yeah, my complex is really small too. Let's see, there's uh 24 in a building. Yeah, and 5 buildings. We just got a brand new pool.
Like I said,
Concrete.
we just got single apartments here. There ain't no upstairs, no downstairs, ain't no. Yeah.
Oh,
I told you we had attics on our apartments, remember?
yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah. But it's a nice place. It's a 55 and over apartment complex.
That would be nice.
And yeah, and you don't have to worry about nobody coming in and hurting you or doing, stuff like that. I feel very
Yeah.
safe.
I looked at another apartment. They did not have security doors. And I looked out the back and it opened onto a woods. And I'm like, there's no way in hell that I'm going to move here.
I don't blame you.
A dark woods up the back door? No, thank you.
I don't blame you on that, honey. I wouldn't either.
That didn't look very
Especially
safe.
not by myself.
I know.
See, my husband passed away 3.5 years ago, so I've been by myself.
Oh, I didn't know it was that recent, Eve.
Yeah.
Had you
Yeah.
already had your knee surgery by then?
Well, honey?
Had you already had your knee surgery when he passed
No.
away?
No,
Oh, you
I
had that
actually haven't
after?
had it. No, yeah, after I had about a year after he died. Yeah, he
Have you
passed away December 4th, 2020.
Have you heard any news on your
No,
knee?
that's nothing they can do. I mean, it's just, like I said, I'm just gonna have to be used to being in on the school in a wheelchair. I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
Squirrely Girl. It would be different in a house, though, as opposed to an apartment with doors that don't lock. Yeah. Yeah.
So I just have to
And
get used to not walking again. I mean,
so your apartment is handicap accessible?
well, I don't have to worry about no steps or nothing. I got a sidewalk. No things I have to get up or nothing.
Uh-huh.
And so it's very accessible. I mean, no stairs, no nothing like that. No,
I know
thank God for that.
I live on the 3rd floor and I have
Oh my.
COPD, so I have to rest. I can't climb up here without stopping to rest because I can't breathe that long.
Yeah, remember I told you that's what my husband has COPD and
Yeah, you
emphysema.
did. Yep. So the doctor's talking about, he gave me a new inhaler. I have 3. He gave me one to replace one of the other ones. I have to be on that for a minimum of 3 months, and then he's talking about injections of biologics.
Yeah, they
So,
kept pushing my husband to different inhalers and medication.
yeah, nothing seems to help though.
No, it doesn't. I mean, when he finally went into hospice, they put him on morphine and stuff, but that didn't help very much neither.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And the
I
weather
know.
and stuff affects it too. I mean, there's so much stuff that affects that COPD.
Oh, don't
You'd
scare
be
me, Eve.
surprised.
Um,
I
I
mean,
said anybody that, I'd go into my immunologist and you'd see people with their oxygen tanks. They're at pulmonary rehab too on
yeah,
oxygen. And I'm like, nobody, if you saw someone, and struggling and knew how hard it is to breathe, I can't imagine why anyone would smoke. Why would you risk that, emphysema
yeah.
or something? I mean, it's a horrible thing.
Yes, it is. I mean, I'm. It's hard to live with too. I mean, my husband lived with it. I think like 15 years before he passed away.
Oh my God. Yeah, I suppose it's hard to be a caretaker for anyone.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, I mean, like I told him, he begged me not to put him in the nursing home. I said, honey, I'm not going to put you in no nursing home. I said, as long as I can take care of you, you'll be right here with me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put him in the nursing home for nothing.
I'm lucky my dad's 91. I'm lucky he still lives by himself, cooks, exercises, mows the lawn.
Yeah, you told me all about your dad. I mean, I mean, at his age, I'm shocked he still can do all that.
I know. He exercises for an hour every day and he goes, "Yeah, I can only do 10 pull-ups now." And I'm like, "You do pull-ups?"
Oh Lord! I mean,
I can't even imagine that. I
I
couldn't do a
couldn't
pull-up
either. I mean, yeah, I couldn't get over you telling me about what about your dad, what he
I
can do
know.
at his age.
He just quit working 3 years ago, I think. Yeah. Good genes, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I got. Hopefully
Okay, hi.
it was somewhat informative. I searched for a long time and I really couldn't find any more information than that, but I'll try to keep on top of it and post updates. So
Okay.
what is today? What
Sunday.
is today? Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, everybody have a great week. Well, I don't know what day it is. Everybody
It's
have a good
Sunday,
week.
honey.
Oh, thanks, Annabelle. And we'll see everybody Tuesday. Good night, Bob. Oh, I like your little emoji. Yeah, Tuesday is legal case studies, so if you want to join that, have a good week, and we'll see you later. Night.
Okay, bye, honey.
Bye, hon. Thank you.
You're welcome.